All right. I had a pink polo, Burberry socks, and they were like, no, you can't do that. So I remember going shopping and just switching my entire dress robe.
Reloading the wardrobe.
I try to fit in so much. I have to be more American than an American.
If you're tired of arguing with strangers on the internet, try talking with one of them in real life.
Welcome to Back in America, the podcast.
Hi, David. So today the mic turn. You are going to interview me, and I will be answering the question.
I'm excited about it.
And before we start, I'm so glad you have accepted to do that. We've known each other since 16, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Since you came to the United States in the current arc. And it's an honor to interview you, Stan. It's really to know you, and I'm looking forward to talking through the different chapters of your journey. But let me start with saying, welcome as a U.S. citizen. I'm glad that the country got the upgrade.
Thank you.
Grew up in France, and not in the big city. And what were your early impressions of the United States before coming here?
Oh, yeah.
What was the rep?
I grew up in the late 70s.
Yeah.
And America was sort of a dream, right? It was, I think most teenagers were looking at the movies and calling at us. And yeah, I mean, I took Spanish. I was preferring English and not like UK. That's where I wanted to go.
Okay. And so 84, is that your first trip when you go to Detroit? How did you get that connection? You had to have been still secondary school.
Yeah. My parents were super kind program called NACEL at the time. You had to go through a little bit of testing.
And was that partly family philosophy that travel broadened you, or what was their...
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So did your siblings all go overseas as well?
Absolutely. I'm the last of a family of 7.
Yeah.
Typical west of France, Catholic family.
Yeah.
And I came in very late, 13 years after the youngest.
Sure.
And when I was growing up, I was the only kid at home. They were all living abroad in Africa at the time.
Okay.
France, Africa.
Sure.
It was a big deal in the 70s. And I was looking at my brothers and sisters they are doing. I want to travel.
Okay. And so did you ask for it? Did your parents offer it, or that Detroit trip?
I don't really remember. I think it was a conversation and it...
So you landed in Detroit.
I went to
that
Detroit.
Urban paradise in 1984.
Oh my God, yeah.
And what were your that's your first time in the U.S. What were your first impressions?
Big family. I was sharing my room with 2 other boys.
Yeah.
And so me being the last one at home, I was like,
Yeah.
But everything was new, was big. People were super kind.
Yeah.
It was funny. The only drink in the house were Coke. It was a big war between Pepsi and Coke.
Sure. And still going on.
Yeah, I remember that. They had a big, barcode projector, a beamer with hundreds of cable TV.
Sure.
In their family room. It was fun. They took me for a week to their lake.
Yeah, that's
fishing.
classic Michigan.
Absolutely. Fishing, water skiing.
Yeah.
Mini golf and theater.
Okay.
I think I saw the first Indiana Jones at the time.
All right.
I mean, I was shocked. People were...
Biggest surprise in that first trip? What was the thing where you really felt, whoa, what is this?
I'm into it, but I think people were super nice, outgoing, open.
Yeah.
Just didn't really care where I was coming from. They were extremely proud around to show me their place. But nationality and origin and social class was not a thing. And coming from Nantes, where social class is a thing, That was, and I might have been too young to really analyze it at the time.
Okay. And so you do that trip, you come back, it was fun. So 2 years later, you're back for another short visit.
Toledo, Ohio.
Another school program, or
No, still, it was not through school. It's an independent
independent? Okay.
So I was older, I spoke better easier.
Yeah.
And this time it was with a Jewish family.
Yeah.
I didn't have a brother. I had an American sister,
Yeah.
super nice, Beth. We went to their, like they belong to like a country club. So that was nice. So I went to see Crosby, Still and Nash at the time.
Okay, sure.
So again, super nice, different, maybe a little bit more intellectual. She was a student at university.
Yeah.
Different experience, maybe more. I went to the synagogue.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. And then you do a full year in Iowa. Following
Then
that.
the only thing I wanted to do was to come back.
Yeah.
I was not the best student.
And your classmates treat like going to the US, they thought you're lucky you got your shot, or why are you doing this?
Well, I think they were a little bit jealous. The teachers definitely didn't like, if you want to learn English,
Sure, it's not proper.
no, to go to the capitalist devil.
Okay. Okay.
That I remember some of that. My friends
Go
were
to
like,
Thatcher, England, which is not the capitalist
No,
devil, is
probably
that? Okay.
but my classmates were totally okay with that.
Yeah.
They envied me. Some of them went there too. So
Okay,
my best
so
friend-
now you're in the US and all in the Midwest, but for a year instead of a week, right? And so what was the thing that you felt was the most French that you kept, that people were like, oh, you're so French?
And I tried to adjust that very quickly, but
Yeah.
the way I dressed,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
a little bourgeois coming
Too
from
much style.
West France. So I think I had pink polo,
Yeah.
Burberry socks, and they were like, no,
Yeah.
you can't do that. So I remember going shopping and just switching my entire dress robe.
Okay. Okay. Reloading the wardrobe.
I tried to fit in so much at
Yeah.
the time. It was
Yeah.
like, I have to be more American than an American.
Yeah.
So,
And the family that you stayed with had a boy that was your age, right?
so the first family, no, it was a girl, and we didn't really get along. She was like the odd one in the high school. She was a punk,
Okay.
totally rebellious, and I don't think she was expecting a preppy French guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we didn't
Pink polo
really match,
just doesn't
but
match with punk.
No.
Yeah.
So my best friend was just next door, and
Okay.
he quickly invited me to stay with him.
Yeah.
Parents were super nice, so we did that. Yeah.
And you had a bunch of teen adventures. So did you feel like that whole experience would have been really different than a year in Nantes if you stayed?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
wilder,
I-
or like how was it different?
Just different. At the time, nothing was boring to me because
Yeah.
I was still young, etc. There was not much to do in the middle of a cornfield
Sure.
in Iowa. So we went cruising, and cruising would not make sense at all in France. Just sit in your car and you
And
turn
drive
around,
in a loop.
and you might meet your friend,
Yeah.
and sometimes you stop and you have
Yeah.
a smoke. We were
Yeah.
trying to get cigarettes. No drinking, obviously, because we were underage. Sometimes someone would
Sneak beer.
contraband
Yeah.
a beer or what.
Yeah.
But, so that was super boring, but to me it was like, wow, new and freedom and driving. You don't really get to drive until you're 18 in France.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Big cake parties.
Sure.
When in middle of nowhere. That was also, we had parties, but over there you don't even have to hide to drink. So there it was like mysterious and hidden.
A little more exotic.
Exotic, yeah. And just the life over there. People, the teachers were really trying hard to make you successful.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit about the difference in your US and French educational experience. Can you just expand on that?
In France, you have to be good, and the teacher won't really get out of his or her way to make you successful.
Yeah.
just have to go with the system. And if you're not that good, it's on the parents or the kid to really try to catch up. In the US, I felt that they had office hours. They were really trying to get you to be successful.
Yeah.
And that to me was a big difference. The entire system was there for the kid to just blossom. Even in a small high school like Iowa, I could feel the difference.
And do you feel, I'm jumping decades ahead, but do you feel that was true for your children as well compared to the French educational system?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't judge the entire country, but living here in Princeton, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So you do your year in high school.
Right.
So
Yeah.
do you go back to France and
I
then
go
come
back
back to
to
the US?
France, absolutely.
And when you were in high school, did you already decide that you wanted to go to university in the United States?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just too much fun, you weren't leaving? Is that?
Yeah, that's it. I wanted to come back. So I go back to France and I've tried to find a way to come back to the US. I get a job in a restaurant and I'm going nowhere with this job. I'm never going to pay tuition. I was extremely lucky. My brother-in-law was working at the time as an architect for a very rich Lebanese guy who had a mansion in DuPont Circle in Washington. Where I was spending just 2 months out of the year. And
he needed a house sitter? Or?
He needed a dog sitter because he had a Shar-Pei. And he needed a dog sitter. And I was put in touch with them and I ended up taking the job.
Okay, so you got a luxury apartment in DuPont Circle.
A mansion in DuPont Circle,
that's
top floor.
Paid.
I was paid. Yeah, no, it was
okay. That's a pretty good.
Yeah.
Hard to replicate for the audience, but and so you do your undergraduate degree in the U.S. and it's what was it like in DC at that time? I see reggae bars. Like, what were you doing?
So DC was a dangerous place at the time.
Yeah, murder capital of the U.S., I think. And
exactly. Yeah. The eastern part of the city was like super dangerous.
Yeah.
For me as a journalism student, it was great because I did police ride along.
Yeah.
I did a paper on the Guardian Angels.
Yeah, sure.
The cab didn't even want to drop me there. I had to take the subway to reach this area. And nobody wanted to pick me up after the interview.
Of course not.
But yeah, that was incredible. You had all those little, reggae club in DuPont Circle. It was a gay place too. And to me, it was like really the foundational years of my life, right?
Yeah.
I was from 19 onward, met lifetime friends. People I still am friends with.
And how did you feel your Frenchness and how people related to you? Were you like the French guy in the group, or
I've always been the French guy.
Yeah.
I remember that at the time it was really an issue for me. I wanted to blend in and I didn't want to be seen as the French guy. But listen to me, I still have this accent.
You're still the French guy, man.
So that's who I am.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I realized, and maybe I realized that today better than I did at the time, that nobody really cared.
Yeah.
Because everybody is from somewhere. And that was me being super French, like, I don't want to be French.
Yeah.
But I think people didn't care that much. Yeah, he's French, this other guy is Italian, he's Russian, whatever.
And did you know, so you know that military service is hanging over you. Were you thinking about relocating to the U.S. permanently, or how did you think about your identity in that era when you're in university?
So that was really switching according to the girlfriends.
I see.
I started dating a French girl and I went, okay, I'm coming back to France and marry her. But then a few months later, I was dating an American girl and I was like, I guess I'm staying in the US.
Okay.
Yeah, I was young.
Okay.
But I've always wanted to come back, I think.
Okay. But so you end up, after undergraduate, you've got to go back for military service. You do that, and then you're in France, and you're in France for a long time.
I've been in France, 25 years, I think.
Yeah. So did you visit the U.S. regularly, or where was it in your thoughts in that 25-year period?
First of all, my American experience is really what got me started professionally. At the time, I was too American to find a job in France.
And what does that mean?
I didn't have a French degree. I didn't really fit in the system. People had a hard time putting me in a box.
You're just too outside the box.
In the US, I tried to find a job in papers, and they were like, yeah, you're very French.
Yeah.
So even in the US, that didn't really work out. And honestly, the place that gave me my first opportunity was the UK.
Yeah.
And my first boss was an Australian. And I had...
And this is after military service?
This is after military. This is me finding a job. And honestly, what made the difference is that I got an internship with the Wall Street Journal.
Yep.
I published.
Yep.
And then I went to Reuters with this clipping, and that made all the difference in the world.
So getting your first work published
in such a prestigious journal. Yeah.
You were an early content creator.
Yeah.
All right. And so you do this long arc in France. How often did you visit the US in those 25 years?
Pretty soon after leaving, I came back with the person who is now my wife.
Yeah.
So I got to visit and show her what was my life there.
Yeah.
And then back and forth. I worked for an American business travel association, so
Sure.
I would fly here quite often.
Uh-huh.
And my professional life has always been international, so I would travel quite often, maybe once a year, once every other year.
And was it in your thoughts as hey, someday we'll rebase here, or was it more, I had this interesting chapter and I'm based in France and I'm traveling the world professionally? Or was your head?
It was a place that I was contemplating only if the opportunity was right.
Sure. And you're married, you have a two-body problem, you have kids, all that.
Yeah. So It was like, the more life goes on, the more difficult it became to come back. Still.
You're right. And how did your feelings towards the United States evolve up to 2016 from when you're here in the 80s? Because that's a lot of time. That's a lot of water under the bridge.
I think I kept this sort of image from the time I was here, which was not the right one.
Sure, I
had a
think about our
misconception of what
right?
the country had become.
Yeah.
Yeah, the picture I kept was the same as the one I left.
Okay.
And it needed an update.
So 2016, Chantal gets a job in the U.S. You have an opportunity to jump with both feet. You do it. You move here.
Yeah.
And how old are your kids at that point?
They were 17, 14, and 10.
Yeah, so I think there's this interesting opportunity to think about the lens that the five of you have, right? Because you've spent extensive time in the States. Chantal's really living in the U.S. for the first time. And your kids have gone through different levels of the French experience, right? And so you come here and set up, and how do you feel now? You've talked about you're two American for the French and two French for the Americans, and like, where did you feel re-entering U.S. society as a resident?
At the time?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I was disappointed by what the country had become.
Uh-huh.
That was not the America I left.
So it was falling short of the ideal image you had in your head?
Moving in with the kids were a challenge that we did not expect.
Yeah.
We were stupid. Obviously, it was going to be a challenge.
Sure, change is hard.
Change is hard, and moving in with teenagers or preteen.
Teenagers are hard.
It's hard. So that was, honestly, the first few years were like hectic.
Yeah.
We were questioning, like, are we stupid? Should we have done that? Is it too much? Should we have imposed that on the kids?
And were you thinking about it as an expat tour rather than we're clearly on the path to citizenship in
No, at the time it was expat. We came here for 3 years.
We're here for the job and we'll see how it goes.
But very quickly, and that's around us, we see that in Princeton, a lot of people go through the same experience. Like, yeah, we're here for a while.
So you're going back to France every summer?
Every once a year.
More or less. Yeah. So you have this snapshot where you're able to compare and contrast. How did your thinking evolve from we're here for a 3-year gig to ultimately we're citizens? What were the key turning points in your head for that journey?
It's a little bit of a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's us really settling down, buying a house, making great friends like you, finding our marks, knowing where to go shopping. It's part of all those little things of life which make you feel at home.
Yep.
It's professionally being fulfilled in our jobs.
Sure.
It's seeing the kids that ended up fine.
Yeah.
After a very rough start, you know, they settle too and they love it. And they've got American boyfriends. I've got 3 girls.
Sure.
And they are happy and they have opportunities that they might not have had in France. So all that combined make you think, we're fine.
And do you think the kids see it that way too, that their arc of possibility was bigger here than it would have been in France?
Yeah, when we speak with them, that's what they tell us.
Okay. And so talk a little bit about the green card, citizenship, trail of tears that you had to go through to get sworn in this January.
So it was not a trail of tears because, again, we were super privileged. The green card process was done through my wife's company.
Yeah.
So we were lucky enough to have a
corporate sponsor.
Yeah, corporate sponsor and a lawyer. It took a long time.
Yeah.
It's really long times. It was like 5 years, I think, to get the card.
Sure.
Some people wait much longer.
Western Europe's still the fast track for sure.
But that was good, right? Moving from a visa to a green card made a lot of difference. Mm-hmm. But then Trump happened.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, how can we secure our stay in the US if anything happened, right? Without losing our French passport.
Sure.
And we're lucky in France to be able to be a dual citizen.
No, I see a lot of people in the U.S., certainly in my circle, going the other way and trying to figure out how they're going to get dual citizenship beyond the U.S. For the same reasons. But
so we've got 2 passports now, which is good.
Okay, so the political climate changes and advantages legally for being a citizen. Was there also a change in what was going on inside your head about identity? When you go back to France, do you feel like you're going home, or do you feel like you're going to what used to be your home?
What used to be our home.
Yeah.
Where my family still is.
Yeah.
You know, that's where my brothers and sisters, my friends. So I don't think it's home anymore because home is here, but it's family. And it's a place we love.
Sure.
But we could feel ourselves drifting away in many ways from France.
Becoming Americanized.
Becoming, multicultural, becoming, seeing stuff in a different lens. Yeah.
So what does being an American mean to you? When you say you're an American citizen, what do you hang on that? I was thinking a little bit, this is the 140th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty, which was a gift from France to the United States, celebrating our independence and the French-U.S. relationship, which over hundreds of years has been complicated and has more than one twist and turn. But it's very rare for a sovereign nation to gift another nation something like that that's an American icon. And so I just thought about that in the context of, okay, how are you seeing what it means to be an American and what feels different when you identify as an American?
So before I answer, coming back to the US in 2016 and me seeing this country change so much, I engage in this podcast back in America to understand what is America. Because America was not what I used to know like 25 years before.
It's not a monolith either. Yeah.
Yeah, you had 9/11, you had the depression of economic crisis of 2008.
Yeah.
And I interviewed people just trying to answer, what is America? And if you listen to my podcast, you will see that obviously there are as many answers
as interviews. Yeah.
But being an American is something that you can achieve in a way that you cannot achieve. You cannot become French. I don't think people can become French on paper, but they will never achieve what it means to be French in the same way as
Sure.
someone.
U.S. is a little
Yeah.
under 15% first generation immigrant.
Okay,
And-
15
and-
still?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's been close to that, up and down between, say, 10 and 14% for most of its history. Last 150 years anyway. So it's definitely, I'm sure that number is not nearly as high in France, right?
No, and because of what France is, and you've got culture, you've got social class, you've got family story, you've got tide coming back,
Yeah.
generation and generation. As I applied for my passport, I was like, shit, where were my parents born? And they were born where I am born.
Yeah.
They haven't moved,
Yeah.
so much. And I'm sure
Yeah.
my grandparents were pretty much from the same place. So their parents, yeah. So being an American is just adhering to an ideal, which is a sense that you belong. You join a country for values more than culture or roots.
Yeah. Yeah. You're making a fresh start, and lots of people have come here to make a fresh start. Yeah, that's exciting. And do you think that your kids will stay? Do you think obviously asking anyone what their kids are going to do, it's fraught with
super
peril,
hard to
but
predict.
Yeah.
Today I would say that out of my 3 daughters, I could see maybe 1 or 2 staying.
Yeah.
The eldest said that she doesn't want to stay, yet she's being extremely successful in New York. So
Sure.
hard to predict, but at the moment she feels very European, maybe not French, but more European. The second one has an American boyfriend, and she loves being here, and she loves him, and
Yeah,
they seem to be settling in the US happily. And the third one wants to study in the UK, but she has an American boyfriend too,
Yep.
and she feels multicultural. So hard to predict where she will settle.
So let's just do a couple of rapid fire. What do you think's the most American thing that you do now that you never would have done if you'd stayed in France?
Oh my God, short weekend trip.
Uh-huh.
We are not. We
A
don't
lot
have
of
the
canoeing
long.
in France?
Yeah, in France you have like long vacation and you can go for 2 weeks in a row somewhere.
Yeah.
In the US you take shorter trips.
Okay.
Canoeing, camping, a lot of outdoors. Not to say that we don't do that in France, but here it's like part of the culture.
Yep. And conversely, what do you think's the most French thing that you've kept that people say, oh, that's so French?
The aperitif,
Yep.
the drink before a meal.
Before a meal?
With the dry sausage,
Yep.
the wine, and food is an important part of our culture, and we enjoy it.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, you go back to France every year. You're trained as a journalist. How has your ability to look at the U.S. from the inside while living here and the outside while you're going back to France, how has the worldview of what the U.S. is evolved in the last 10 years that you've been here?
Wow, that's a deep question.
Sure.
First of all, there is a misconception that in Europe people talk about the US as if it was one thing.
Sure.
Just like you talk about Switzerland or Italy.
Sure.
And as we know, it's way more complex than that. Just starting by the fact that it's a federal republic.
Yep.
That makes a lot of difference. I think the US, just like the rest of the world, has seen a decline in democracy because of the economics.
Yeah.
The middle class didn't get the raise that was promised for all those years, and people are trying to find a way up.
So let's shift the conversation a little bit to citizenship. And how does voting feel here compared to France? How do you engage socially? What's your feel of ambient government, and not just federal level, but local politics? What's different here?
It might be too new for me to answer that. I haven't
Okay.
really looked into
Sure.
it. But that was, voting was a big reason for us to become an American, obviously. We want to take part in the democratic process. We haven't given up on democracy just yet.
Yeah, good.
So we are looking forward to vote. How are we going to do it? Whom are we going to vote for? We don't know, obviously, but it's going to be an interesting process. You vote for local election. The representation is very different to what we are used to in France. So we need to brush up on that.
Sure. I think everyone at election time, if they're voting, needs to brush up.
Playing a role there is key for us.
Okay. Any last thoughts on life in America?
It's been an adventure, definitely. I remember when I was in Iowa, my American brother kept on trying to make me say I am an American. And it really stuck with me because it was not just the fact that I had an accent, but it was the fact that he wanted me to identify as an American. I think he saw me just like, yeah, you're an American, you're here. And that already then made me feel like, wow.
Not every country will do that.
Yeah, you can become an American. And you could not become French so easily. I think it would even be impossible. So that really stuck to me. And when I turned, to this oath ceremony, which was really moving, I must say. And I was like thinking back to those years, I'm an American now. David, thank you so much.
Stan, thanks.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks.